Ladies and gentlemen, for our next segment, we have a leader, a young blood leader who's taken over the world with his creation. Let's give it up for Mr. Vamsi Kotte, founder and CEO of Syntizen. Mr. Kotte, please come on up, please come on up. Our question to you, for which we need a very, very super brief answer is, I mean, you are, by the way, ladies, probably one of the youngest in the room. What advice do you have for young entrepreneurs to brace themselves for a very tough adventure that they'll be experiencing? What is your one advice?
Yeah, start early, do enough mistakes, and then stabilize it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Making notes, Mr. Kotte. And on that note, stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I have the video, please?
Seamless identity check, which results in delightful customer onboarding for corporates and better the service delivery by governments. Our products are ready and easy to use, offer great value to any business by reducing time and cost of citizen identification. Started in 2014, Syntizen is a startup India-registered company, a member of India Stack and a NASSCOM Emerge 50 startup in India. Till today, we have done over 2 billion digital identification transactions associated with 5 state governments, saved over 2 billion rupees for governments with our tech, and acquired over 30 banking and financial clients. Syntizen does over 7 million transactions every single day across various streams. Our product, Digital KYC, is an instant and contactless citizen identification system. It is compliant as per all regulators. Let us see how 𝐄𝐝𝐢 here can go about the Digital KYC process. KYC validation can be performed in any one or multiple methods, including Aadhaar verification using eKYC or offline KYC, PAN validation using API check or OCR extraction, 𝐂KYC check and DigiLocker. Liveness check can be done either by a video call between agent and customer or by capturing a selfie. That's it! The Digital KYC process is now completed. Key highlights of our Digital KYC. Syntizen has strategic partnership with several market leaders. We look forward to partnering with you.
So just to introduce ourselves, we are a KYC factory from Syntizen. What we do is to help organizations to onboard a customer in digital means. We have more than 80 plus microservices underlying which supports any customer onboarding journey for regulated entities. For say, there's various factors of KYC. We have video KYC, we have 𝐄𝐝𝐢𝐈 offline KYC, we have KYC, and then so that way we have different forms of KYC. So we support all, and the stitching work we do it customer to customer. Every customer has their own way of onboarding a customer, whether it comes to colors, fonts, or the workflow is something that we keep it separate always. So we have something on the customer side of it. We have something as a templatized format. We have more than 8 workflows on those lines. And we connect it based on the customer need. It may be a banking template or a fintech template or an NBFC template, or if they want some other template apart from this, we connect a new one and then we stitch a product for them as well. So what we do from the validation layer, right from Aadhaar, we have eKYC based tech that is available for banking industry. For say we do millions and millions of transactions on Aadhaar rails. We have eKYC and authentication systems in place. One interesting factor that I also wanted to bring onto the stage is about our 𝐄𝐝𝐢𝐭 systems are a little advanced than what's available in the market. We have multi-ASA switch The whole objective is to keep you up and running to the maximum extent of time. So we have multi-ASA connectivity. We have connectivities with every ASA in the market today. We have a fraud monitoring and fraud controlling systems. If you see UID as a framework, Aadhaar, it will allow each and every transaction that is going through, and then later if there is any abnormalities, they will ask us for clarifications. So we have a preventive systems in place which do fraud monitoring and controlling at the edge level and ensure that these transactions are not coming under any of those categories. Like for example, business hours, non-business hours classifications, or the critical transactions that are happening, or the blacklisted devices. So all kinds of checks that will run on abnormality of transactions and ensure these transactions are very well qualified before performing itself. And to get the maximum uptime, we have a multi-ASA switch to ensure transactions are switching between ASAs to pass through. So we have PAN validation, we have passport validation, voter validation, or driving license validation. So certain things from the regulatory side, we have the licensing in place. Certain things we check it from the public data sets that are available. On top of it, once the ID has been captured, the data extraction will happen. Then we implement validation layer on it. Once the validation is done, the next thing that we'll do is match the faces, match the live face with the photograph available on the ID card, do liveness checks, do matching checks, and ensure that the face of these things has been passed. And then on top of it, we have a bunch of other services like AML service on all three kinds of AML checks, the global sanctions, or the politically exposed data, or the finally the adverse media effects. So we covered pretty large wide scape of AML checks in place. We have risk score, we have alternate score to ensure the credit lines has been opened for the right person. Alternate score on the means of the authenticity of the phone number or the email ID is also being done by us. So we always keep these microservices independent and products for the banks, or even if they have some workflow in place, we can integrate it in that particular ecosystem. So, and we also have the entire video KYC as a flow, vKYC, within 2 minutes of time, how a customer can be onboarded using the video KYC workflow is something that we also have in place. So apart from this, I also wanted to talk about our recent capabilities of issuing PAN card instantly. We work very closely with Income Tax Department. We are able to give a PAN card instantly. EPAN is there, but EPAN has certain limitations that phone numbers should be available in Aadhaar database and all. We are also able to do it with biometric based transaction. So we are creating a bundle offer wherein a PAN card and a voter card and a bank account as bundle offer that we can provide to a student at 18 years of age. These are no-frills accounts or millennial accounts wherein the traction points will be we giving them a proper voter card and a PAN card. Everything is instantaneous. Accounts will be created instantaneous along with bank account as the driving force. So this is something that we are collaborating with a bunch of state governments. We are already live on other products with more than 5 governments in the country. So we are using all their existing touch points of citizen service center kind of 𝐄𝐝𝐢𝐈 𝐈𝐓 or their Gram Award secretariats and all, wherein they can do the transaction there of this for this bundle service. And all these cards, the income tax is okay to send the PAN card directly to the customer's doorstep later, but the number will be allocated immediately. So whether it is PAN or voter plus bank, all together as a suite of services at the age of 18 as a complemented product is something that we are trying to offer. We would like to conduct drives all across through our partner programs. We stay as a tech company, like to extend it to partner programs that we do across. So this is something that we are launching soon. Apart from this, we also have the masking technology to ensure the Aadhaar number got masked on any kind of document, low resolution, low light, tilted document, because after agent banking or tab banking in place, the images are not so well qualified as they are when we are scanning it through flat scanners and all. So our systems will ensure even the lowest possible resolution the document with wide variety of formats, whether it is TIFF, multi-TIFF, or even the document has been compressed 100 different times to push it to our document management systems. Everything will be identified and masked it as per the regulatory requirement of RBI and UIDAI. The numbers has to be masked in database. Or if you want to store that number, it should be stored in a data vault. So the whole factory of services with respect to KYC and its compliance is something that we are always works on. We do more than 10 million transactions every day on identity rails that we have. We have lakhs of touch points all across our customer. The biggest advantage is every service that I'm talking about, we have on-prem as well as a cloud as an offering to all our customers. So we are already working with a bunch of banks and BFCs. We are working with governments in place. And then now with some little advancements on the microservices that we are launching with respect to GST checks, PF checks, EPFO checks, ITR checks, and then bank statements, validations and all. We use certain AI ML components to ensure the forensics are in place, or we have a validation layer on the public data sets, or we have licensing to validation of data. So some way or other way we have certain validations with certain risk scores in place for various stages of customer onboarding to onboard a customer in seamless way within less than 2 minutes of time. We need to complete the video KYC kind of flow is something that we are following as a thumb rule across. So yeah, that's all from my side. We have a stall here in the public presentation booth. So love to actually take any questions if anyone has. Yes. So success rate of video KYC is, as a whole, 95 out of 100 is getting successful. But because we do checks upfront with respect to the ID card, that they have to capture it rightly as a first thing that they have to do. And then the face match and liveness has to be performed with the superior algorithm. So the algorithm that we use on facial technology here has a capability of 1 in a million kind of failures tech that we are using. The reason being that I'm saying this is we are using this in a bunch of state governments where every day millions of people are getting matched. So all the government run subsidy programs in a couple of states has been validated with our group face attendance. For example, you have a mobile phone at the edge level, we just need to show the faces like this at the classroom with an N:1 kind of ratio. The 60-member classroom, we are able to complete the attendance in less than 2 minutes of time in a digital way. The algorithms are so refined to onboard customers with a less failure rate on facial recognition technology. Yeah. Yes. Yes, so basically 3 factors as I always tell. One, the ID has to be captured very good to ensure the forensics has been done. Second, the face match and liveness is something that we have at its best to ensure even the 20 years of age difference is something that we can detect beards, turbans and all. It's pretty solved problem, liveness. And the third one is the bandwidth. With the lowest possible bandwidth, even if they have a 3G connection, even if there is a data packet loss, the call should not be disconnected. It's somewhere like how Zoom has solved it, or how Teams has solved it. The video call problem, the packet drop issue should not disconnect the call. However, even at the lowest possible resolution and the bandwidth that is available, the call should still render. That is something, our areas of focus. We have a separate team who always work on streaming part of the solution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kotte. We've run out of time. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
And sir, Mr. Kotte, I should appreciate, we recognize, sir, you've been one of our patrons for the longest time. So big round of applause, a big round of applause for sir for such an amazing question. Thank you. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And a bigger round of applause for Mr. Kotte for, brave-heartedly standing up and answering. Mr. Kotte, you mentioned one piece of advice for young entrepreneurs is to, start early and make a lot of mistakes. I don't know about the start early part, but making a lot of mistakes, that part is something that I'm most definitely abiding with. Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure.